The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season started quietly, with long stretches of peaceful weather and gentle breezes across the Atlantic. For weeks, coastal communities enjoyed calm seas and clear skies, with little hint of the drama that was about to unfold. But the calm was deceptive. Beneath the surface, the ocean was warming, and the atmosphere was quietly shifting, setting the stage for something much more powerful. Far out in the Atlantic, a swirling mass of clouds began to organize. Tropical storm Erin, the first real threat of the season, was taking shape. Satellite images revealed a system growing in size and intensity, hinting at the potential for rapid development. With sustained winds between 39 and 73 miles per hour, Erin seemed typical at first, gathering energy over warm waters. The storm's churning winds whipped up the sea, sending whitecaps racing across the surface and bending palm trees along distant shores. Forecasters watched closely, noting the storm's potential to strengthen due to warm sea temperatures and low wind shear. Every new data point was scrutinized, as meteorologists debated whether Erin would remain a tropical storm or become something more dangerous. The big question: when would Erin become a hurricane? Forecast models showed a range of possibilities, with some predicting a slow intensification and others warning of a sudden leap in strength. Initial models suggested a gradual intensification, with communities in the Caribbean alerted but not alarmed. People kept a watchful eye on the news, making quiet preparations just in case, but life continued much as usual. Erin's projected path kept it north of the islands, offering some relief to those in its potential path. Still, the atmosphere is unpredictable, and even a small shift could change everything for the communities watching from afar. As August 15th ended, Erin remained a compact tropical storm, but subtle changes were brewing within its core. The storm's structure was tightening, and meteorologists noticed signs that it could soon intensify. We signed off with a reminder: even distant storms deserve vigilance. The ocean can change quickly, and early warnings can make all the difference for those in harm's way. Overnight, Erin began a transformation that would shock meteorologists by sunrise. New data poured in, showing a rapid increase in wind speed and a tightening of the storm's core. The stage was set for a dramatic display of nature's power, as Erin prepared to make its mark on the 2025 hurricane season. In just 24 hours, Erin underwent explosive intensification, an event that left meteorologists and coastal communities stunned by its speed and ferocity. What began as a relatively modest tropical storm quickly transformed into a force of nature, defying expectations and rewriting forecasts in real time. This is one of meteorology's most dramatic and dangerous phenomena, where a storm's power can multiply seemingly overnight, catching even seasoned experts off guard. By Saturday morning, August 16th, Erin had rocketed from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane. The transformation was so rapid that it set records and forced emergency officials to scramble. This extraordinary leap was fueled by deep, warm ocean water, nature's high-octane fuel for hurricanes, and minimal wind shear, which allowed the storm to organize and strengthen without resistance. These perfect conditions created an environment where Erin could grow at an almost unimaginable pace, with clouds building and swirling in a mesmerizing yet terrifying display of nature's power. As the storm intensified, Erin developed a pristine, well-defined eye, an unmistakable sign of a hurricane at its peak, radiating immense energy and destructive potential. The jump from 70 miles per hour winds to a staggering 160 miles per hour in just one day is a stark reminder of how fast these storms can evolve, leaving little time for preparation or escape. Hurricane Hunter aircraft flew directly into the heart of Erin, braving turbulent skies to confirm the storm's explosive development and provide critical real-time data that shaped emergency responses. For coastal residents, Erin's story is a sobering lesson, one that underscores the need for vigilance and respect for nature's unpredictability. A manageable storm can become a monster overnight. That's why preparation must begin early. Waiting until the last minute can be a fatal mistake, as supplies vanish and evacuation routes clog. The window to act can close in mere hours, as conditions deteriorate rapidly and options for safety dwindle. Erin's rapid intensification didn't just make headlines. It marked the true, sobering start of the 2025 hurricane season, reminding everyone that in the world of hurricanes, change can come faster than anyone expects. Category 5 hurricanes represent the absolute peak of nature's destructive power, unleashing forces that can reshape entire landscapes in a matter of hours. These storms are rare, but when they do form, their impact is unforgettable, etched into the memories of those who witnessed their fury. By late Saturday, Erin's winds had intensified to a staggering 160 miles per hour, enough to tear the roofs off well-built homes, flatten entire neighborhoods, and snap sturdy trees like they were nothing more than twigs. The sheer force of the wind turned everyday objects into dangerous projectiles, compounding the devastation. The eye wall, a tight ring of towering thunderstorms, is the most violent part of any hurricane. Here, Erin's catastrophic winds raged with relentless intensity, while hurricane-force winds extended outward for 30 miles from the center, battering everything in their path. Even communities far from the eye were not spared. Tropical storm-force winds, still powerful enough to cause damage and disrupt daily life, reached much farther, spreading Erin's influence across a vast area and leaving millions on edge. As Erin's central pressure plummeted, the storm's vacuum effect intensified, drawing in more energy from the warm ocean below. This rapid intensification made the hurricane even more unpredictable and dangerous, fueling its monstrous winds and expanding its reach. At the heart of the storm, the calm eye offered a deceptive sense of peace. Surrounded by chaos, this brief respite was a stark contrast to the violence just beyond its edge, a reminder of the storm's unpredictable nature. Fortunately, forecasts showed Erin's core would remain over the open Atlantic, sparing coastal cities from a direct hit. Yet the storm's reach was vast, and its effects would be felt far beyond its center. Massive waves and powerful swells radiated outward for hundreds of miles, threatening ships at sea and battering distant coastlines with relentless force. Even those far from the storm's center faced dangerous surf and the risk of coastal flooding. Even without making landfall, a Category 5 hurricane like Erin can cause severe flooding, erode coastlines, and inflict wind damage on areas that never experienced the storm's eye. Its indirect effects are often widespread and long-lasting. Erin stood as a terrifying example of meteorological power, its strength a sobering reminder of the forces that shape our world. Meteorologists tracked its every move, warning of the dangers even as the storm churned far from land. The hurricane's energy churned the Atlantic, stirring up rough seas and sending shock waves through the region. Its impact extended far beyond the storm's center, affecting weather patterns and ocean conditions for days to come. Long after Erin had passed, its legacy would linger, felt in the swells that rolled across the ocean, the reshaped coastlines, and the memories of those who witnessed its power. On August 16th, Erin, now a Category 5, was 135 miles northwest of Anguilla, moving west at 15 miles per hour. The forecast track kept its center offshore, passing about 145 miles north of Puerto Rico, close enough for concern. A high-pressure ridge to the north steered Erin west, keeping it parallel to the Caribbean islands. Computer models agreed on this path, but the cone of uncertainty meant a small shift could bring disaster. Emergency managers stayed alert, knowing even a wobble could change everything. Long-range forecasts predicted Erin would eventually curve north, possibly passing between the U.S. East Coast and Bermuda. The storm's fate and the East Coast's depended on these shifting atmospheric patterns. Despite Erin's core staying offshore, its size and strength prompted tropical storm watches for several northeastern Caribbean islands. Residents secured property, checked supplies, and prepared for strong winds and heavy rain. The main threat: torrential rain from Erin's outer bands, raising the risk of flash flooding and landslides. Tourists faced disrupted plans with flights canceled and beaches closed. Authorities worked to keep everyone safe, reminding all that you don't need a direct hit to feel a hurricane's impact. Preparation was key, even for those outside the storm's center. Hurricanes are more than just wind, they're water too. For the islands under watch, flash flooding was a top concern, especially in mountainous areas where rain rushes downhill, overwhelming streams and roads. Landslides and mudslides threatened homes and infrastructure, triggered by saturated soil and relentless rain. Even distant from the center, Erin's massive swells created dangerous surf and deadly rip currents, closing beaches and endangering swimmers. Emergency responders prepared for flooding, slides, and coastal hazards. Residents were urged to stay alert, avoid the water, and be ready to move to higher ground. Erin proved a hurricane's dangers extend far beyond its eye. Respect for every part of the storm was essential. Erin began as a compact storm, but forecasts showed it would soon expand dramatically. Its hurricane-force wind field could double or triple, spreading destructive power over a much wider area. This growth meant more regions, possibly both Bermuda and the U.S. East Coast, could feel tropical storm-force winds and heavy surf. A larger storm also churns up a broader area of ocean, sending powerful swells to distant shores. The expanding wind field increased the risk of dangerous surf and rip currents from Florida to New England. Erin was evolving from a concentrated powerhouse into a sprawling giant. The storm's reach was growing, making it a more formidable threat. Both sides of the Atlantic needed to stay vigilant. Even with Erin's center far offshore, its influence would be felt along the entire U.S. East Coast. The biggest threat: powerful rip currents and dangerous surf, expected to build for days from Florida to the mid-Atlantic. These currents can be deadly, even on sunny days, pulling swimmers out to sea with little warning. Lifeguards would be on high alert, urging beachgoers to stay out of the water. Large swells would also cause significant beach erosion, threatening dunes and coastal infrastructure. Communities like the Outer Banks watched Erin closely, knowing even distant storms can reshape coastlines. Erin's story showed that hurricanes' impacts travel far beyond their track. The ocean itself became a hazard zone, demanding respect and caution. Hurricane Erin's explosive growth is a powerful lesson in preparedness. A storm that seems minor one day can become catastrophic the next. That's why having a hurricane plan, knowing your evacuation zone, stocking supplies, and having a communication strategy is essential. Trust only credible sources like the National Hurricane Center for updates. Pay attention to watches and warnings, and follow local officials' guidance. Erin's story is a reminder: the next storm may not stay at sea. The ocean is warm, and the season is just beginning. Stay vigilant, review your plans, and talk to your family and neighbors. Preparedness is our best defense against nature's power. By being ready, we can face the season with confidence and resilience.